Hello, my name is Chelsey Turner, and I am a teacher candidate at Grand Canyon University. I am a kindergarten student teacher at Pinion Hills Elementary in the state of California. My teaching philosophy: I believe all students are deserving of a teacher who is compassionate, caring, and embraces the differences and pushes all students to their high expectations. This year, in the state of California, being a student teacher in the pandemic and having to face immense challenges to try to give students a normal school setting. About a third of my student teaching I had to teach online. The remote platform we had to come up with to integrate packets that were broke down by month, week, day, and half an hour timeframes. I then moved to a platform with intervention groups. Based on their assessment, those with the most need for intervention would attend on campus in small groups. Before we came back to in-person learning, I created a fun and safe, welcoming classroom environment. My teaching style developed over the course of the student teaching. Having the opportunity to work with a mentor teacher who has professional knowledge on the Keegan strategies, I have adopted a teaching style that is all about engagement. I am a strong believer that all students deserve a teacher who is willing to implement as many sensories as possible in their lessons and instruction. The sensories I was able to integrate through my lessons were auditory, visual, and kinesthetic. My teaching, I have included strategies to support the diverse needs for all students. I have been able to change up a strategy when I see that some students could benefit from a Keegan strategy, like motion for letter recognition or sight words. In my classroom, I am able to engage students by having students create, draw, dance, complete hands-on STEM activities. I can incorporate I do, we do, you do every day with my virtual students, small groups, and in-person learning. I have created an engaging environment by building curiosity that exposes the class to experiences they are unfamiliar with and find interest by asking questions. I have integrated a great deal of technology due to the pandemic to connect the class to a virtual field trip with beekeepers, marine biologists. I also had students observe the life cycle of butterflies while using and increasing appropriate academic vocabulary. I have drastically increased my skills by teaching students how to think using experiences and resources to find their own answers. I encourage students to use different strategies to get different results when experimenting. I developed appropriate instruction according to individual students by differentiating my students to improve their abilities due to the delivery of the instruction, by collaborating to meet the needs of students. I have spent considerable amount of time preparing lessons that contain differentiation to engage the students. When creating games for the classroom, I am mindful of different learning strengths and weaknesses. When I am not sure how to meet the needs, I brainstorm with colleagues. I try to relate all subjects to real-world problems. In math, I guide students in understanding why it's important to be able to add and subtract with money and other objects. I have designed a lesson in which the students create a habitat for animals they choose. I problem solve where there were a zookeeper and needed to design a habitat that meet the needs of the animals of their choice. English language students, I am able to use more models and visuals by creating and developing appropriate instruction according to individual students. For example, in my math lessons, I created different strategies according to student levels, including 10 frames, double 10 frames, number bonds, and manipulatives. I have created games and pairing students up accordingly to their levels. Each pair are given appropriate levels that challenge them without over-challenging. I have enjoyed my journey at GCU and how they've challenged us as a future educator and how we will implement the Christian worldview inside the classroom. The book of Matthew, love is patient and kind. Love does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice at the wrongdoing, but rejoice with the truth. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. This verse is a good example on how the Christian worldview can be implemented inside my classroom. By showing kindness to my students and understanding others' differences, and how myself, students, teachers, staff members can embrace each other for their differences. I look forward to implement what I've learned over the past couple years in my educational journey to become a better educator for my future students.